Okay. Starting out here with Olympia Shopping Center. No more O'Reilly's. They've moved on down the road to a new building. No more Save-A-Lot in this building. I wonder what might come back in. I don't really have a clue. Still have PNC Bank. Does anybody remember when Thrift Drug was here? Now it's Lifespan, which is needed too. I just remember Thrift Drug. But this is Olympia Shopping Center. Shop and Save, Dollar Tree, a couple of big names. Unique Nails. I remember G.C. Murphy being up here. I remember the pet stores when they were here. I think the last one was called Critters. And Century Heritage and Rainbow and Plasma and Puff. I remember when Puff was Style of Jewelers. Does anybody remember that? That's where I bought my Clash ring in 1979. Right there, that Puff at that time was STYLOVE Jewelers. Been a long time ago. Payless Shoes, Loans. Boost Mobile used to be Radio Shack, H&R Block. Wine and Spirits. Olympia Beer Store. I remember when it was Barnes's Beer Store when I was a little kid. Subway. T-Mobile. People walking. Pearl Vision, China Jade. Another lady coming. Let her get across with her clothes. I think she's going to laundry. I spent years having to go to laundromat. It's not the most fun thing to do in your day. And back around the PNC Bank. Okay, and there we have Ollie's. See how far back anybody might remember. Does anybody remember Zayre's? Zayre's Outlet. Well, it was no S. It was Z-A-Y-R-E. Zayre. And then am I wrong that Kmart something came in afterwards? Help me out, folks. Comment and tell me if was it Kmart that came in after Zayre and didn't stay. I have a postcard from I think it's the 1940s when this up here was a pool. Yeah. I wasn't alive then. I was born 20 years after it was long gone. And we have community life there now, too. Just want to take a look at what's around. Oh, and now we got a new name. We're Walnut Square. I hope I caught that. But yeah, we're Walnut Square now instead of Olympia Shopping Center. AutoZone. The flea mart's over there on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And the Moonlight Pool Company. And we have what used to be called the Buy and Fly, now it's Exxon. On the CB, we used to call it Quarter T's. That way everybody knew where they were going, down to Quarter T's. And here we have O'Reilly's. Does anybody remember the lumber company that used to be in there years ago? And here we have Aldi's. It was bottom dollar before Aldi's. I don't know if I'm getting it in the camera or not. I'm trying. But yeah, it was bottom dollar. And over here we have Dollar General and Rite Aid. And the building over there that says Praley's on the side of it and Simonetta's, the advertisement boards. Does anybody remember when that was Stromco carburetors? He rebuilt carburetors for cars. And that tells you that was a while ago too, because now we have all fuel injection. Oh yeah. And we sit through the red light. This next building on the right, Allegheny Insurance Agency. When I was little, that was a bank. My dad and mom used to pull up to those drive-through windows. And Shiverini's and Jokers used to be there. This was all business over here. A couple of years ago, those buildings got tore down and completely leveled. And we have Scott's Auto. Does anybody remember Palmco before it was Book Country? All the canned goods you used to get out of Palmco. All the stores around here, your canned goods didn't say Food Club, they said Palmco. And we have Hoots, and we have the messenger service, and the dairy store, and we have Zach's Bikes over here. And, oh geez, the Hungarian Social Club, and the Auto Garage where they work on cars. And what about Sunshine Produce, which was right there where that awning is? They're long gone too. Another place for ice cream, little dairy store. And Lowry's Trucking. I'm glad they're still here in town. So much is left. Puzzlers, they're still here. The sign is still up for Linda's Beauty Shop. And because I don't go to a beauty shop, I don't know if they're open or not. I hope they still are. There's a building here on the right painted pink and black. There's people in there every day when I pass by. I do not know what they do. I really don't. And then we have a little car lot here. And we have the Mckeesport model railroader train inside that building. And we have Sunoco. Used to be a rental place right there. They're gone too. And New View Windows. Yeah. I also have a very, very old postcard sitting in my attic of when they were, I don't know whether they were installing trolley tracks or just working on them, but there was trolley tracks down below it where we're at right now in these bins, and it's very old black and white. I don't think they were ripping them up just yet. I think they were working on them or putting them in. And now we're getting down into what I call downtown district. Yeah, we have Marsh Supply here on the right hand side. I'm glad they're there because every time I need something for furnace and hot water tank and stuff, that's where I come. The American Legion here, which is closed. For a while they had gardens over here. I guess, I don't know if they were called community gardens or what, but people were planting in there. I'm assuming produce. But I haven't seen it this year, so I don't know. And we have the Salvation Army and Mckeesport's post office, and I think this building is apartments for rent. Then we have the church here where you can buy mattresses and stuff, and Sunray Electric. There's the church I got married in. Yeah. Here we have Sunray Electric Warehouse. Does anybody remember when this was a Chevy dealership? Yeah, I don't know the name of it now. And the old railroad crossing station in the middle of town here. I'll bet you a lot of people don't know what that is. But a man used to climb up there and lower the crossing gates when the trains came through town, which they don't anymore. We have the welfare office. And you can see all the metal I-beams they've had to put in there to hold that garage up. And there's Sue Striffler's funeral home. One of the few that she has. I'm glad she has stayed in town too. Tell you what, we're going to go straight through. And the back of the Penn McKee. You know what? See if we can catch the back of that building, because I remember when it was on fire years ago, and I thought the building was really not in good shape in the back. Oh yeah, you look up there, you can see where the building had burned. I'm not going to get out of my car down here. Wow. Maybe see, there's a bike lane in the middle of the alley anyways, so I'm not going to drive down it. The Elks used to be here. They're long gone. Used to be a little restaurant in this front corner. Coffee shop, restaurant, whatever you want to call it. It was right in there. My woman that I used to be with used to work in there. I used to come down here and get her. And you can still pretty much see the sign. Does anybody remember Kelly and Cohen? Yeah. And I see... is that one of Minifield's trucks? Wonder what the heck's going on. And there's a dumpster in front of the Penn McKee. Maybe they're going to start tearing it down. I don't know. Alright. Alright, I'll pull over here for a minute to try to get a view up Fifth Avenue. This here, even though it's blocked a good bit by my car, at one time was the Famous. My grandmothers on both sides worked in the Famous. If anybody might remember the Famous fire way, way back. Oh, I don't know if I'm right on the year, maybe 76. It was a big fire and took out a lot of other buildings in town. And looking up Fifth Avenue. Over there where that silver van is parked, there's a one-floor building behind it. Cinder block, gray roof. There was a Pennsylvania passenger car that sat there for years, all aboard travel. The Pennsylvania car was called the Martha Washington. That was the name on the side of it. And I have no clue whatever became of it. I'm one of those ones that hope that it wasn't scrapped. And then over there where it says respect and love and dignity, that was the Memorial Theater, which I never got to see anything inside, but I remember when they tore it down, when the front of the building was ripped off, how nice the inside of the building looked. It must have been a grand place. I never got to see the inside of it. And our municipal building over there. Yeah. Does anybody remember? I hope somebody comments. There is a below the yellow part that says municipal building. There is they have dirt and flowers. Originally, that was for goldfish. And does anybody remember the first year when it froze? And the next year when they put antifreeze in to keep it from freezing and couldn't figure out why the fish turned belly up? And we have Natali Sporting Goods. And there's Natali's there. And the old Jason's. I think First Commonwealth is next to Jason's. And we have the Mckeesport. It's empty now, isn't it? I think. I could be wrong. So, if it is empty, then it's just another abandoned building. Which I think is a shame here in town. I wish we'd get some business back. And over here we have different places. Does anybody remember Byers Children's Clothes at 224 Fifth Avenue? I do. Does anybody remember when this corner where the Valero gas station is was Greens 5 and 10? And the building up there on your left, the manila color building before the blue building, was Murphy's 5 and 10. And the blue building had McDonald's in it. I remember sitting in McDonald's when I'd get out of work at 4 o'clock from Levine Jones Buick and watch the trains go by from the window in that building. But we have My Foot and CVS Pharmacy. Immel's used to be on the right hand side. And you can see up top I don't know how well you can see it. I got traffic coming. You can see up top where there's what looks like a porch up there with a roof on it. The people who, I want to say, owned the building or owned a business actually lived in the building. They lived upstairs. And, oh, and I remember back there when there was H&H Fish. That church back there, I remember when it was built. Thought it was something new coming to Mckeesport. And I've been up and down that street, and oh my goodness. That church has, I'll try to get up that street. They got fencing around it. I guess it's not a real good neighborhood to have fencing around it locked up. And we got Midtown Plaza coming up here. That was supposed to be the savior of this town. Yeah. Didn't work. Unfortunately. And we have the executive building, which is falling apart. I'm waiting for it just to crumble into nothing. Mckeesport Employment and Training. Does anybody remember the Pappins that used to be in that corner? He used to advertise his restaurant, and he'd say, "And you gonna like it." And we had the Chestnut Inn bar here for a long time. Burger King was there in that brown door. That was Burger King. I used to deliver produce there. Coney Island used to be Goodman's Jewelers. I don't remember the name of the store, but the last windows there at the end of the Midtown Plaza was a store for a while, for food. I remember it being there. And we used to have We Do in this building here. Radio station. I don't know what all was in there, but I think it's completely closed up now. Actually, there was a gun shop in there when I was 18 years old. I bought my first 20 gauge in there to go hunting. I had a Smith & Wesson 20 gauge. Held 3 shells because they had the plug in it for the 4th. Semi-automatic. And gee, look, and where Coney Island is, look at the second floor windows. The looks like the blinds are falling off in there. Is Coney Island empty now? And across the street we have Mckeesport City Hall. I remember Olson Eye Care up on the left-hand side. Helmstedters, Fuji Film, and the recruiting office all on the left-hand side in this block. It's all gone. It's a shame, but it's all gone. I know I'm pulling over here and there, but it's because I got traffic behind me and I really want to try to get some of this captured. I figure if I don't get some of it captured or somebody doesn't fairly soon, then as they start tearing these buildings down, pictures of them will be lost forever. Okay, well, Mr. Policeman didn't say anything at me pulled over there. These are our Social Security buildings. I believe this is the old one, and then they built a new one here, which is right there. And Mckeesport Business Growth Center. And the beer barrel was here. Yeah, still here. And Senior Care Plaza. The Senior Care Plaza, I don't know if you can see it. That was the Sheraton Motor Inn when they came into Mckeesport. And we're going to get the back side of it here. Yeah. I'll pull over again in a minute because I have cars that are... I'm going slow filming, and everybody's got some place to go, something to do, and I'm not blaming them. It's just I'm in their way. So I pull over to get out of their way. When I got married, I spent my wedding night in there when it was a Sheraton. Again, long time ago. Shop and save. Oh, and when all the buildings were over here, I should have filmed some of that. Complete empty lot. And we still have Eaton Park. And the flyover ramp and a train going through town. Anybody remember Lawson's? That empty lot was Lawson's store. Right there. And we'll go up around town a little bit here. I don't know how long I can film on this. I don't know if YouTube will let me upload it yet either. I'm old enough to remember before these high-rises were built and before these apartments were built. Mayor Lyle's old house was in here somewhere. I think it's that red brick one right there. Old Mayor Lyle's house. I got told by somebody, and again, if my information is wrong, please somebody leave me comments, correct me. But I got told by somebody that this block that I just came through, but on the street we're gonna turn on, was at one time called Millionaire's Row. And when the person told me that, they said, yeah, Mayor Lyle lived there. Everybody in town that made decent money lived here in town. But oh, both sides of it, it's just a mess up here anymore. Terrible mess. I like the way they did those trees. They painted them and still have the green growing on the top. And we have New Beginnings Ministries. I'm sorry, because I pronounced it wrong. Yeah, I remember before any of those. They're not new anymore. They got to be 30 to 40 years old. See the red brick building there? That's a set of the apartments that they built up through the years. This is going to be bumpy. This is Corson Street. Up between the Versailles, a little lower Versailles Avenue Cemetery. I don't know any other name for it. But as I've been asking, if any of you know any other names or have different information than I do, please let me know. They got the grass all cut. Where the heck is the tombstones on the right hand side? Maybe I just didn't see them. Here's one for y'all. See if anybody on here would remember it. Out of this cemetery, I worked at Levine Jones Buick at the bottom of the hill on the corner of Lyle and Corson, and someone took a marble ball off of one of the tombstones. They said it weighed about 600 pounds, and they rolled it down Corson Street, and it actually popped in through the body shop wall. I think a man got his leg hurt when it came in. I'm pretty sure that it hit one of the toolboxes, and a man got, I don't know how bad his leg. I don't think it was broke, but I think it was bruised up. And I left the Buick garage in, oh, let's see, 1985. Look at that. This used to be all homes on both sides. Now it's empty. We're going back to farmland. We really are. Look at these. Abandoned. I'm just pulling over for a mail truck to go by. Now, with any luck, I can get back out there. I remember when these apartments were built, I was a little kid. Hell, there was apartments further up those empty lots on the right-hand side behind me that they've torn down. And wasn't at that time, one time, Buckman's, where we came from the high school to get our pictures taken for the yearbooks? Or they came to us, and if you weren't there that day, you had to come down here, make an appointment, and go in there and get your picture taken for the yearbook. I'm fairly certain. Oh my. This isn't... Well, I don't want to give my opinions. When I grew up, these were mansion type homes over here. Look at that grand front staircase going in. Now it's all gone, all grass. Wow. I get information that this corner house, probably 100 years ago, this corner building, I should say, was a boarding house. Way back. I don't know anything else about it. I just know that's what a friend